I am Nicole Payne. Welcome to Peek and Choose My 5-Star Lifestyle. It's the 5-star lifestyle where I use my imagination, I follow my intuition, I live my passion, I connect with myself and with people around me, and every day I peek and choose to make choices that the end of each day leaves me happy. Notice I said every day. Okay, this is something I do every day. 5 things I implement: imagination, intuition, passion, connection, and choice. So, yeah, I am super excited to share the story with you today because, you know, in every experience, there are life lessons to be learned, okay? So don't take any experience for granted, you know, whether it be good or bad. You know, the fun ones are exciting, they're good, you know, it's pleasurable, and you have happy memories. And then you have the odd one that's really throws you off and you're like, why? Sometimes you don't even get an answer. And then there are ones that you're like, okay, I learned something and I need to grow from this, okay? Actually, each life lesson is the whole purpose of a life lesson. You have to grow from it. If you haven't grown from it, and grown meaning you will do things differently, you will see things differently, you've learned a lesson, you will not repeat it. Sometimes you may have to repeat that mistake if you haven't learned anything. So the one I'm going to share with you today was one that I learned a little bit about being clear about what you want, and also listen to the inner voice. Do not ignore the red flags. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So check it. I wanted to a Jeep. I wanted to buy a Jeep, okay? And I was very clear about it. It's something I've always wanted. I didn't want a car. I didn't want a whatever. It was very specific. I wanted a Jeep. And I wanted a silver Jeep. And I would always just look in my driveway and I would always see the Jeep. In my head, I could see the Jeep in my driveway, you know? And I'd look out the window and I'd see the silver Jeep sitting there and I'd feel really good about it. And then I thought, okay, I felt the need to buy one, okay? I said, okay, I'm gonna go look for a Jeep. I had some money and I went online and I knew I wanted silver. I knew what my budget was, what I wanted to pay for it, and I wanted to be able to pay for it cash. So I went looking online, and all of a sudden, one popped up. Okay, I was on eBay, and it was my first time on eBay. Because of the story, I don't shop on eBay, by the way. Lesson learned. So I was online, and somebody referred me to eBay, and I went there looking, and came across this Jeep. Now remember, I told you I wanted a silver Jeep. I looked at the picture and I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. It was very well priced. It was newer than the one I had in mind. No mileage, but it was black. Okay. It doesn't matter, right? It's just, it's black. I wanted silver, but it's black, but it has everything else lined up. So cool. I messaged the seller and we got into talking, but the first thing I went for, the first red flag I saw, I mean, like I said, this Jeep was spot on. It was a newer version, but it was really, really cheap for the price. And I don't know much about vehicles and all that jazz, but I had the common sense to know, quote unquote, red flag, that it was kind of underpriced for what they've had, all the options. So the first thing I asked them was, why is this Jeep so, priced so low? And it was a woman. She responded. She says, oh my goodness. But she didn't say, oh my goodness. But she basically said, listen, I'm going through a divorce right now. And I just wanted to get rid of this Jeep. You know, I want nothing to do with my husband. I want nothing from him. I just want to take the money and go. So I have this Jeep here and you can have it for the price. Yes. And that's the real reason why it's not cheap. No other reason. Yeah. So I know the situation where, you know me, I'm always someone to get engaged with people, so I realized her situation was kind of sad, and I mean, you know, we had got into talking a little about, you know, her situation, and at the end of the conversation, I said, you know what, I need the Jeep, it's priced well, I know under the circumstances, you know, it's not like the best circumstance to buy something, you know, a marriage is falling apart, but, you know, she was okay with it, and I felt okay with it, so I said, cool, you know, I want this Jeep. So she said to me, we talked for a couple of days because I wanted to think about it. And I said, you know what, I'll go for it. So I messaged her and she says to me, okay, cool. You know, we talked about when we were going to meet up and I can look at the Jeep. But she says, can you send me a deposit? I'm like, ding, red flag. But I'm like, okay, well, she's not asking for everything. She's just asking for a deposit. So I asked her how much. She says $5,000. Yes, you heard me, $5,000 deposit. So I said, okay. I know what you're thinking, but I said, okay. And the next thing she says, can you send it by MoneyGram? Or I think it's MoneyGram. What you call it. But I have to go to one of those places to get it, you know, this order thingy. Money order? I don't know. I've never done it before. That's why I'm a little confused with the name. It's something else I hadn't done before, to send this kind of money this way. So she told me to go get that. And she says, when you send it, when you order it, or you to come back, send me the confirmation number and I'll go pick it up. So what does Nicole do? Off I go to get the $5,000 money order, MoneyGram thingy. I got it, got the confirmation number. But this time around, I'm driving back home and I'm realizing, okay, I just sent some money to this stranger. I don't have the Jeep yet. I'm super excited about it. But, you know, I'm wondering for the first time now, am I doing the right thing? Because at first I was so excited, you know, I'm getting my Jeep. It's not the silver one, it's the black one. But, you know, it's well priced and it's newer. And, you know, that was what I was all excited about. So for the first time, I kind of felt uneasy. You know, am I doing the right thing? I just sent $5,000 to a stranger. So I got back home, and because this nudging won't leave me, I decided to get back online, and I started to read our messages from the day we started talking, and I went through everything. I didn't know what I was looking for, but I kind of felt, okay, I needed to double check make sure what I'm doing here was the right decision. I had initially, when I logged onto the computer, the message where we were talking, I had typed in all the information to tell her that I've already sent the money and this is the confirmation number, but I didn't push send. For some reason, that's when I had started reading everything. I didn't push the send button because I decided to listen. Okay, so I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So I messaged her right away, and you need to know, by the time I messaged her, within minutes, like less than 5 minutes, she'll respond. So I messaged her right away, and I said, excuse me, whatever her name was at the time, you know. I said, listen, I just noticed that the account is actually in a man's name. Is this your actual account, or is this your husband's account that you're using? 5 minutes passed, no response. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm like, okay. I didn't even want to question anymore why she wasn't responding. All of a sudden, it hit me. Nicole, you need to go and get your money now. I jumped in my car. I rushed over to that place, and the lady's like, hey, you're back, you know? And it was really quiet there. So she's like, I said, listen, I just bought or paid for $5,000. I just gave you $5,000 to send to someone. Can I have my money back, please? Like the most normal thing. And she looked at me, she goes, well, she says, listen, how this works is, I said, I didn't send the confirmation number. She looked at me, she smiled, she says, you don't even need the confirmation number, actually. She says, if the person goes to the place with ID, the money's released to them. I'm like, oh my God. So I explained what happened, you know. I said, I'm trying to buy a vehicle here. I just sent $5,000 to a total stranger. And she says, listen, let's go back into your account. And she says, I'll hold my breath with you. This is what she actually said to me. I'll hold my breath with you to see if that money is still there. And together we took a deep breath. And she pushed her click on whatever she had to click on. And she goes, she says, it's still here. And she gave, you know, she did her whatever, and she gave me a refund. Oh my goodness. I never felt so relieved in that moment, you know, and I guess you're probably feeling the same way. I could have been out $5,000. And I'm like so mad at myself after I left that place. I'm thinking, Nicole, you know, what were you thinking? But so relieved that, you know, it didn't go through, and I just shut down everything. But before I did, I went back to eBay and I contacted them because I said, this is weird. Like, it's a full eBay page, and I don't understand why this person has 2 accounts. Like, I just want an explanation as to what happened there. And they responded by saying that I was phished, P-H-I-S-H-E-D, phished. It was a phishing page. So the person had this page over, you know what I mean? It looked exactly like an eBay account, but it was not an eBay account at all. So I just missed it. oh. So anyways, they shut that down. They thanked me for it. So hopefully I saved somebody else from getting fished for that Jeep. And, you know, I was like, wow. Started reflecting. I was like, whoa, that was close. That was really close. But, you know, I was like, you know what? Thank God I got saved from that. I still wanted my Jeep. I could still see my Jeep in the driveway. It was silver. And I'm I'm thinking to myself, you know, it's going to come. Sure enough, about a week later, I'm talking to my neighbor, and they're like, you know, from a neighborhood where I moved from, I ran into them, and they're like, listen, I have my Jeep sitting in the driveway for 6 months. I need to get rid of it. What color was the Jeep? Silver. How much are you asking for it? The exact same price that I was willing to pay, you know, my max for my Jeep that I wanted. It was to the penny. And that person was able to go get that Jeep ready for me, and I had my baby. I still have my baby. I absolutely love it. People have been asking me to buy it. I don't drive it as much anymore, but I'm like, no, this is my life lesson. I'm holding on to it. But you know, the thing is this, everything was off. I knew what I wanted, and that's the point I want to make about all of this. You have to be clear about what you want, okay? And distractions will come, and you must not ignore red flags. What else did I learn? So I was clear about it. I wanted a silver Jeep. The Jeep was black. I wanted to pay a certain price. It was underpriced. Red flag. You know, and when I waited, the right Jeep at the right time with the right color at the right price showed up. I used to look at my Jeep in the driveway. I have a different car now, and I'd look at it and I go, this is exactly what I would always see when the Jeep wasn't there, and now it's there. And I'm so glad I didn't follow through with the distraction of, oh, it's a black Jeep, but it's lower mileage and it's a lower price, and you know, the little glittering things around it to kind of deceive me, and actually I could have been out so much money that day. So such is life, okay? Whatever situation you're in right now, and you see the red flags, oh my God, they're so easy to ignore, because you know what we do? We explain them away, and we excuse them away, and we try to find we try to listen to other people to see if they're going to agree with what we think so that we can excuse that away. Don't ignore them. Don't. They're there to warn us. And, you know, that little voice is so insistent, you know, even when you say, no, that doesn't make any sense. No, I don't want to do that. Yes, I want to do this. But that voice is like, okay, you need to wait, or you need to go there, or you need to make this call, you know? And sometimes it's not a scary voice. It's a very gentle voice, and it's a very, you know, like, sometimes it gets louder. Sometimes it comes physically where somebody will say something to you, you know, but just don't ignore it, because you could actually end up down the road where you're like, I wish I had listened to that. I knew it. You always say that after the fact. I just knew it, but I didn't. Okay? So I say all that to say that for myself, I'm so conscious of that voice. I am so conscious of it. And also, if I'm desiring something, I'm so clear about it, that when you're so clear about it, you can recognize right away when something is off and when it's not for you, because you're like, everything is here but. And if you have a but, don't explain it away. Keep moving. Because that thing that's supposed to be for you, that person who's supposed to be for you, that job that's supposed to be for you, you know, even if you want to take a vacation and it's your time, and you want everything to come together nicely, when that's supposed to be for you, when it's your time, it just fits perfectly. It fits like a glove. Okay? And there's no ants feeling, and there's no agitation, and there's no uncertainty. You just feel good. You just feel happy. That's my life. So thank you so much for listening today, and I hope you don't miss that little voice. Maybe this video might be your little voice today. Okay? I absolutely love you. Pick and choose my 5-star lifestyle. Like and subscribe and watch for your notification. Pick and choose your 5-star lifestyle, my 5-star lifestyle.